What's wrong?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, with that lovely musical introduction, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I will ask if you will all stand or wherever you are, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. We have present in the chambers myself, Mary Lynn Donahue, Alder Jim Boren. Remotely, we have Alder Roberta Flicky-Pineski, Alder Trey Mitchell, and Alder Marcus Savalio. All right. And in the chambers, we have Chad Pelishek. Is that Danella?
Yes, it is.
And Debbie and Carrie and our producer, Scott.
I can leave now.
Oh, and Todd Wolf, I'm sorry. That really was a mistake. I just want you to know that. And we have Attorney Chuck Adams is with us as well. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of our February 22nd meeting.
Move to approve?
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. And we likewise need a motion to approve the minutes of our March 1st meeting.
So moved.
Move to second.
All right, we have a motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Very good. All right, we'll move on to 3.1, which is a petition for writ of certiorari in the matter of Chad Shelton versus the City Licensing Hearings and Public Safety Committee. Chuck, what do we need to do here?
Just hold it. It came in and probably didn't need to go on the agenda, but we'll get it to you when we know what's happening with it.
Okay.
Can I just have an understanding of what the big long word means?
It's one of my
Basically,
favorites.
basically he's appealing the decision of the committee, the administrative decision to the committee to the court via a writ. And so he's asked the court to hear it, and the court now, they basically just scheduled it for a scheduling conference. There's some rules about, he has to provide a transcript, which he's going to have difficulty doing, but we've talked about providing alternate methods for that. So we'll just go from there, and the court will make a decision, review, and make a decision.
Okay, thank you.
This arose out of a quite long hearing that LHPS had some time ago regarding vicious and/or dangerous dogs. So, very good. Chuck, if you just keep us appraised, that would be great.
I have a question, Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Thank you. Attorney Adams, what happens in the interim period with these two dogs?
The orders of the committee stands in the interim. So the judge has not issued, and he hasn't applied for any sort of interim relief. I'm not sure he'd even be entitled to any, but the dogs do have to be out of the city. If it's the vicious dog has to be out of the city, and the dangerous dog has to abide by the dangerous dog rules.
Thank you.
All right. Good questions. Chuck, my question is on 3.2, 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. May we take these together, or do you want separate action on each? Chuck, what do you think?
Sure. They're unrelated to 3.1, but yeah, I mean, when you take those, you can take them all together.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip 3? I have trouble advancing the...
I think we just need a vote to hold on 3.1.
Make a motion to hold 3.1.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. All right, then moving on to 3.2 through 3.5. Take these together, or Chad, do you want to just bring us up to date with what you're
Sure. So
What you're
back
about
in, we've determined the process and it's all documented. And so back in November, the council and the finance committee approved the original kind of notice that we were going to exercise our police powers for parking assessments. Now, but per the ordinance, the finance director is supposed to submit the cost of what it's going to be assessed out at. So that's what this is, and then it'll go back to the council for a public hearing. So the costs are attached to these documents as it relates to what each of the assessments are going to be for the parking assessment. Just for clarification, I know in the past Roberta had asked about this. Parking assessment number 1 is the downtown. Parking assessment number 2 is riverfront. Parking assessment number 4 is the Heritage Square, and number 5 is South Pier.
All right. Very good. And thank you for the explanation of the process. Cleaner to do separate resolutions, Chuck?
No, you can actually make a motion to approve each of the 4 resolutions.
All right. So I am looking for a motion to approve the resolutions relating to parking assessment districts 1, 2, 4, and 5.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. The resolutions pass, or the resolution passes. 3.6 is a resolution authorizing a budget adjustment and appropriation in the 2021 budget regarding Mead Public Library. Does anyone want to speak to this? Yeah, why don't you just, Debbie, just tell us very briefly what this is about?
What that is about is the Mead Public Library Foundation wanted that amount of money taken out of their 2020 budget on what they're going to give the library for 2021 on some projects. These projects started, but were not finished at the end of December. It's the fencing project around the back of the library. And then also we got the outside lights converted to LED. And we are now converting all the interior lights to LED to save money. And then there's a couple other smaller projects. They're looking at putting some countertops in, so.
All right, very good. Anyone have questions? Or Todd, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just have a real quick question for Debbie. Debbie, when you're asking for the 2021 budget adjustments in appropriations, are you asking for additional funds than compared to what you were given?
No, those are excess funds that we had in 2020 versus what we had spent out. They had me cut the checks in December because they wanted out of the foundation for the end of the year, seeing as those were projects they approved for 2020, but we just physically couldn't get them done. So that's funds, if you would take what we got in donations and subtract all the donation expense accounts, we're over by that 45,000 because those projects weren't completed, so we didn't get the billings yet.
Okay. And we can side table this for further discussion, but I think
Sure.
we need to discuss, because there's the difference between the levy and the donations and where
Right.
the projects actually fit.
Right.
I just want to make sure, because typically, correct me if I'm wrong, Daniela, but when departments have additional funds that they don't spend, or a project comes in under budget, that those dollars get rolled into the general fund. So I just want to make sure that
Right.
if it's truly general fund
No.
or levy, that it's going in the right
These are
spot.
restricted funds by the foundation for those projects.
Daniela?
So,
We don't have control over the foundation.
Right.
any longer. So
As long as it's foundation.
the foundation would just have to, I would think, just issue a check or transfer the funds for payment of those projects.
and that's what that is.
Okay, so you're just coming forward to the finance and personnel to let us know what you're doing with the funds?
Yeah, what we're doing is asking, and we've done this in the past with donations and not necessarily just the foundation. But in the past, if we can't spend our donations out that are restricted, then we need to carry them forward because they are a restricted donation. We don't give a check back to the donor. So it's not gonna affect our budget because the expenses, we've set up a project number. So those expenses will match that donation that we need to carry over.
Okay, thank you, Debbie.
Madam Chair, could you ask Daniela to speak on the microphone? The people
Yeah.
at home could not hear her explanation.
Couldn't hear a thing.
Right, and Danella, do you just want to come up to the podium
Thank
and just
you.
repeat what you had to say?
Sure. As Debbie presented, it seemed that this was money from the foundation and the city has no control over the library foundation. This is strictly, they would just have to roll over some funds or make transfer between their accounts so that they can spend those dollars.
Do we even need to do this, I guess, is the question.
I think it's just more communication to the finance and personnel group
Okay,
of what they're doing. It's not something you really you can't really act on it other than file, would be my
Right.
understanding. Chuck?
Well, it is, no, it's not to file. It is a resolution authorizing the transfer. Because it is a budget transfer, it will have to get approved by council. That's why it's coming before you.
But Chuck, my understanding is that it's funds that the foundation has. It's not part of the levy. So the city wouldn't have any jurisdiction on those funds.
Whether the city has any jurisdiction on how they can be spent or not, when you make a budget transfer and it is a change from the prior year budget, it still has to get approved. You may have no choice but to approve it, but you still have to go through the motions.
Okay, thank you.
all right, so I think we are looking for a motion to approve the resolution. Do I have such a motion? All right, Marcus, move to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? This looks like it may be something that finance and the library can work on in the coming year, just to kind of clarify what the process is and how this is best accounted for. So we can't hear you, Debbie, so you're going to have to step to the mic.
In normal years, we try to spend all the donation money out by year end.
We understand.
Yeah, so, I mean, the last time we've done this was in 2014, so.
Right, and I think we just need to get a maybe
Sure.
slightly better, clearer process.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion passes. All right, 3.7 is a resolution authorizing the engagement of Quarles and Brady to serve as bond counsel with regard to general obligation promissory notes. Todd, do you want to, or Chuck, your office was the one who reviewed a number of proposals. Do you want to just fill in our background as to why Quarles and Brady is our continuing choice?
Yeah, this is just the engagement letter. You previously had approved authorizing, Quarles and Brady as our choice moving forward, and so this is the official engagement letter.
All right.
And actually two of them, 3.7 and 3.8.
All right. Well, we'll take them separately. So is there a motion on 3.7 to approve Quarles as bond counsel with regard to the general obligation notes?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. 3.8 is a similar resolution authorizing Quarles and Brady to serve as bond counsel with regard to taxable general obligation refunding bonds. Is there a motion to authorize or to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. 3.9 is a resolution awarding promissory notes, Series 2021A. Todd, is that yours?
I guess I could pass it on, but it's basically just what I would call boilerplate, where it's basically where Carol is presenting the resolution for us to apply, just like 3.10 will be the resolution of awarding. So this is just what we go through in the process.
All right. Does anyone have questions for Todd? I think we are looking for a resolution to authorize the city to award the promissory notes and awarding the sale of $3,666,000 in taxable general obligation refunding bonds. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Chuck, I see, are there two resolutions here, or am I just misreading this?
It's two resolutions, so yeah, we'll translate what you did and make sure that it says you've approved two different resolutions.
We just have the one resolution, so even.
Oh, you read both of them. You read the information on both.
All right, very good. So just to clarify, that our motion is with respect to 3.9 and 3.10. Any further discussion, questions?
Just a quick one.
Go ahead.
Todd, when is the sale coming up?
I believe it's March 1st,
March?
or not March 1st.
April
March.
1st?
What's the date again? The 15th? 15th. Yeah,
15th of April?
15th of March.
Oh, 15th.
March.
The sale
Yeah.
is going to be the 15th of March.
Yeah, so when we have council, we'll be talking about where it landed.
15th of March. So is that going to require another early meeting then on the 15th to go over the sale with Carol?
No, she'll just be presenting the numbers where it all fell, what we were able to receive.
Okay. Thought we usually had an early meeting on that.
Oh, you think so?
All right, so the discussion in the chambers is whether or not we'll have to have an early meeting to make a specific approval of the final sale. Is that the understanding?
Yes.
All right,
That'll be on the 15th then.
okay. So if
You may or may not, depending on so tip in the past, several years, you've had to do that because it's always been sort of last second. Prior to that, you never had to do that because it wasn't quite so last second, and we've been encouraging them to be a little quicker on the uptake. So depending on what the results are of the sale, you may not need to have that extra meeting if the numbers that are in the current resolution are close enough.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Very good.
Okay.
Roberta?
When you say the numbers that are in the current resolution, those are the dollar amounts of what we are refunding.
Right.
Okay, because all of the attachments were blank?
Okay, I didn't know that they were blank, so I'll work with Thomas to make sure that we have this done correctly.
And if necessary, we will, we'll have an early meeting on March 15th. Beware
Right.
the odds. All right. So in the event that we do not need the separate meeting, we have a resolution to the resolution to approve 3.9 and 3.10. Carrie, do we have a resolution? Okay, very good. All right. Are there any other questions or comments? Roberta, I can hear you. Your mic is on.
I was responding to Marcus. I didn't see any numbers in my attachments. So if there were, I didn't get that.
And I think what Chuck is saying is that, and I didn't go down that far. Well, I have a 20-page resolution. And you do or do not have that? Or that is on Resolution 184. So let me go back to Resolution 183. On 184, do you all have the 20-page document? Which quite frankly does seem to be somewhat boilerplate. But let me just look at 183, which likewise is a 19-page document. Again, I appear to have most of those 19 pages.
I have them. I think most
Well,
of them.
the bid tabulation is not presented yet because that hasn't happened.
I think she's referring to the exhibits, like Exhibit C and stuff, where it says winning bid.
Right,
And pricing
exactly. And
summary.
I'm thinking that hasn't been done yet.
No, because
So-
they haven't gone out to bid yet.
Correct,
Right.
And it'll be filled in after we
After
have
the-
a bid.
correct.
And typically at council, if you're just dealing with the numbers from the bid and it does not require a change to the prior, what you're calling the boilerplate document, which sometimes it does, then what you will be doing at council is approving with the results. And so the actual body of the 19 pages and the 20 pages of the main document, you're approving those, and the exhibits, they're not ready to go yet because the sale won't be until Monday. If the exhibits come out close enough that you don't have to make any substantive changes to the main portion of those resolutions, then you're good to go and you won't have to meet again.
Okay. If you're happy, I'm happy.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy yet, but I'll let you know if I'm
Okay.
unhappy. We'll make you come to the meeting.
All I'm just saying, Chuck, is savor that, because municipal lawyers don't hear that very often. All right. So we are at a point of voting, unless there's any more discussion or questions. All right, all those in favor, state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. All right. And we are moving down now to 3.11, which is an ordinance temporarily providing for the change of various due dates relating to parking assessments. Chad, is that yours?
Sure, I can take it. So last year, the council approved a resolution changing the payment date for the parking assessment districts by ordinance. It's May 1st. And based on the COVID and the businesses, the staff committee that got together, the recommendation is to push it out to June 1st. So this ordinance would change that to allow collections to be due on June 1st, giving businesses an additional 30 days to come up with the money, with the hopes that it'll start picking up and COVID will, the businesses are maybe picking up business and will have the resources to pay those bills.
Any questions for Chad or comments? Todd, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Again, as Chad had stated, when we got together as a committee, we basically had said, let's extend it like we did last year, or recommend extending it to allow relief for the local businesses to collect business before they have to pay this. So that's why we're asking. It's not something that we're not changing it permanently. It's just, again, for this upcoming year.
And is there a sense, hang on, Jim, is there a sense that the 1 month extension is enough or is worth the effort?
We did discuss that, and the majority of the people or businesses actually paid on time still.
Okay.
But, so we felt that just by doing the 30 days, we still should be allowing some relief. And if we hear something differently or notice an issue, then we can always come to the council and ask for an additional extension.
Okay. Jim?
I was just going to make a motion to approve.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
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 Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Well, God willing and the creeks don't rise, we will not meet again until March 22nd, but I would ask you to just give yourselves a little extra time on March 15th, just in case we do need a special finance meeting. I think we will not. I think this is something that the council as a whole can simply talk about, but let's just make sure that we are that flexible. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Thank you all very much. We are adjourned.
Thank you.